HooHooHooRobin.
And then I'm learning that Anthony's couch is going to be here sometime in May.
It's like May or something. I'm telling everybody because I know Jimmy's got to get a new couch. And it just takes forever to get a couch. Of course, you know I lost my last couch.
To the booger.
To a booger. To a snotting incident. Had a booger incident that was, had guests over the house with children, and I was sitting on the couch, and a little boy was sitting with his father, and the boy dug his finger in his nose and pulled out a booger, I guess, and wiped it on the couch. Wiped it like in between the cushions or something. And the father had asked him, what did you do? And he said, I picked my nose. He said, where is the booger? He goes, in there. And he said he couldn't find it. The father goes, well, look for it. And he goes, I can't find it. And I'm sitting, like, I'm just stiff as a board sitting there, and my head is just spinning. I'm going, oh, my God, I have to throw this couch away.
Yeah, you're so contradicting yourself today.
Why'd you have a heart on?
Stiff as a board.
Because you started the show by saying that Howard was a agoraphobe.
Agoraphobic.
I'm agoraphobic.
But that's like going out.
No, I know. And
Yeah.
I was gonna continue with my statement.
Germaphobe.
I understand what that is.
Yeah.
But and a germaphobe.
Yeah, no, it has nothing to do with germs. I don't get it's not a germ thing with me.
Dude,
it's not a germ thing.
It's
I don't
one
have a germ
lousy
thing.
booger.
It's a booger.
If you really examine what else was going on with that couch, you'd be horrified.
No, snot.
Dry skin and
snot strikes a nerve with me that is only surpassed by shit. Only surpassed by shit. My level of disgust goes shit. Now, make sure you write this down, people. It's shit first on the list. Disgusting thing ever that could come out of a human being is shit. If it was near me or around me, God forbid, on me, I'd lose my mind.
Okay.
So that's number one, the evil of all evils to come out of a human body. Second on the list. Second is snot.
I agree.
If snot gets near or around me or, God forbid, on me, I will freak out. If it's on my couch, I throw the couch away.
I agree.
Third,
splooge?
Probably pus.
Pus?
Some form of pus. Yes, pus.
So wait, there's like 3 things you could think of that are worse in your mouth than a load?
I didn't say in my mouth. Because
you'd rather take a load than need a booger?
Here comes the promo.
Because I've had... No, think of it this way. I'm even talking about myself. So I'm talking about snot or anything coming out of me disgusts me. And if, who hasn't shot a load on their own gut, right? It doesn't disgust you. And it goes down to urine, things like that down the line. But
urine's one of the least, really.
I know, yeah.
It really is.
You take a leak.
You're leaking so much at this point, it's your best friend.
Why not? Right.
What about earwax?
Earwax is pretty up there, too.
That's up there.
Earwax, probably right after pus.
It's like a buttery goodness.
It's tart. You ever put your tongue on your finger after you stick it in the earwax?
Don't make me... You almost made snot come out of my nose.
You would never eat like a big watery runny booger?
God damn it!
Yeah. It's like sucking down a loose piece of pasta.
Stop it!
It's got like salty tinge to it.
If I
you just made me do the cricket snort.
If I inadvertently you suck in and you feel something more than just
you've never eaten your boogers?
Never.
Not one. Not one
Dude,
time.
I can say. In all of my years, I have never, ever, ever eaten one of my boogers.
Not once.
I have never even contemplated it.
Really?
I have actually been repulsed at the very thought so as not to even accidentally ingest a booger. I have never, ever, ever eaten a booger.
You never yanked one of them off a little hair in the nose, one of those little fat ones? Oh, those are wonderful.
No,
Sure.
and if I'm picking at something, I can't even look at it. I have to get it away and off of me and cleanse my hand immediately. It has to go. And when I used to work on the job and see those construction workers plug off one nostril with the thumb and go,
the snot rocket.
And snot rocket.
Those things rock.
It would disturb me for hours, and I couldn't eat my lunch.
Bill Madden taught me the snot rocket when I was back in like junior high. We were playing basketball. He's like, and I needed a tissue. He's like, screw that. Just do what I do. Right on the sideline. He didn't care. Right on the cheerleaders if they were too close.
If I blow my nose, I have I have to have a mirror right there too, so I can make sure there's nothing hanging, and I have to like make like these things out of the toilet paper or tissues that I could shove up my nose and twist around and pull out like rubber bands and make sure every bit of it's gone.
You know what you do? You wrap the toilet paper around the finger, and then you put the finger in, and you can dig and pick and scrape with your nail.
Yeah, but
under
sometimes
the
it
paper.
pushes it up. I found what's better is a loosely packed little twist of toilet paper. And then you could put it up there, jiggle it around a little bit, and it kind of grabs on and pulls it right out. Yeah.
So your thoughts, Anthony, on people that eat their own boogers?
People that eat their own boogers. These are not people that you want living in your neighborhood. Do you want this as your neighbor, your friend, the person sitting next to you at church? Maybe on the job, on the go, even looking out the window of your automobile as you cruise this great land. Do you want to look over and see some animal picking, digging, straining up to the knuckle to pull out some of that green goodness? Take a look at it, slowly roll it between his finger and thumb as he ponders the taste of it. I don't even know what he's thinking when he's gazing into this glistening green orb between his fingers. But what does he do with it, people? Does he get a tissue and dispose of the ugliness? Does he wipe it somewhere, never to see it again? No. He looks at it like it's some type of meal and slowly puts it in his mouth. And then chomps on it between his little teeth. Before he, swallows it, puts it between his cheek and gum like a skull. I don't know what goes on with the booger after it goes in his mouth, but it's there. It's horrific. We need to do something about these booger eaters. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you very much. Thank you, people. The booger is not. Yeah, thank you. No, great. Thank you. We as non-booger. Thank you, people. Thank you, please. Thank you. I say, put the booger down. Awful. Snot is the reason I won't eat rice pudding, says Clark Gifford from Whackbag. I have no idea what that means, but something struck a nerve there. Rice pudding.
Rice pudding is an awful invention.
Do you know there were dominatrixes that? Well, I've read stories.
Yeah, stop it! Don't even say it.
No, it's not. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. It's not what you think.
Snot rockets right in the chest.
No, she'll actually put her nose in your mouth and blow her nose in your mouth.
It's worse than I think. You're right. That is horrible.
I'll tell you the most disgusting thing for me is, to be honest with you, period. There's nothing that gets me more than that. That, to me, is number one.
Clark Clifford from Whackbag also saying, snot is like the caviar of body fluids when compared to shit.
It really is.
Very funny with the food analogies there, Clark. Yeah, that can't.
You don't enjoy the buttery goodness of the earwax?
No. Earwax must also be cleaned out with a rolled up piece of tissue.
He's a Q-tip.
Q-tips freak me out. They're too small. I don't know what they're doing.
So how do you clean your ears?
I take a piece of tissue paper and roll it up, stick it in there and like that, and then pull it out, and that's just as good because I don't know, they're too hard at the tip sometimes, and they're small. You never know how far to stick them in.
Yes,
if you stick toilet paper in, it'll crunch back if you go too far. There's no safety spring on a...
Nah.
Yes, sir?
I now know the problem with his headphones. It's his ears. He's got a wax buildup that's about 4 inches thick.
What? No.
You got to scrape it out of there with a little...
I scrape it out really good with the tissue.
I love looking at that yellow on the Q-tip.
Oh, yeah. I wind it around like a corkscrew in there.
When I forget to clean my ears for a while and I go in for, some goodness and it comes out, it'll skeeve me out.
Extra crunchy
Oh,
Jif.
my God. I didn't know I was lying on peanut butter all night long. It's just... Should I make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with
Oh.
this?
You know how you know your ears are filthy? Like when you scrape it and it's not yellow, but it's a brownish yellow, and it's actually up off the Q-tip. Almost, like it's not just on the Q-tip. It's like you pulled a physical piece of something out. Like your Q-tip is wearing a hat.
Oh, God, is that disgusting?
Earwax is not a hat.
It's like a scab or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, this is something that freaks me out. I've been a cop now 13 years.
Yeah.
And I've worked all over the city. There's not one police station in this city that I have not gone into and walked into a urinal that there's not boogers on the wall.
Oh, the people picking and wiping?
I don't know if it's one cop that just goes around the whole city and picks his nose and wipes the booger on the wall, but there's not one urinal in the whole city.
You ever lean forward and lick that wall?
Yeah! Wow!
Why not?
And then they try and sometimes they try and see how far up on the wall they can get it. And the prisoners do that with shit too. They'll
monkeys throwing their crap around.
Right. I've seen the cells where they'll I guess they'll do the finger in the ass or something, and they try and see how far they can get it up on the wall.
Up on the wall.
That's
great. A little contest for them.
Jimmy,
to
did you try that when you were
time?
downtown in
I
the
hated
Tombs?
it. I tell you, that made me a better citizen. I'll never get arrested
Certainly
again.
Never get arrested,
Oof.
see? They taught you a lesson.
One night was all it took. Brutal. Oh, it was awful.
God, that's disgusting.
Yeah, the booger on the thing. The problem with the booger on the precinct wall is if you lick it, it won't come off. It's like a hard little bump. It's like a genital wart on the wall.
Kids would wipe snot and boogers under their desk.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you were just kind of hanging out and maybe you had your hand on one leg and you go to tap your foot. For some reason you touch the bottom of the desk and feel just lumps under there.
When a crusty one would fall off.
Yeah.
I still get skeeved out just thinking about it.
I have a confession. The God's honest truth. I was a shock student, Anthony. Back in the day, a shock student. And we'd be in some of these really boring, history classes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was known, and it got to the point where people would collect money because they couldn't believe this was actually going on. I started it out as a goof, and then how things spread around school. And I wonder why I didn't start dating until I was a senior in high school. Then they would start, getting collections because they didn't believe it, so I would do it, and I would get my lunch money.
And what was this?
I would reach under the desk, feel for a good one.
A good what?
Wad of gum that's been there for weeks, maybe years, who knows? Usually the hard ones.
Oh, my God.
Scrape it out.
You weren't that kid.
I swear to God I was. And I would, pop it in my mouth for the enjoyment of everybody screaming and yelling as the teacher had his back to the class. And then he would turn around wondering what the hell was going on. Yeah, that was me.
That is really disgusting.
I was that kid. Just for a little while. It was a little stage I went through it. A little stage, yeah.
Were you ever just sitting somewhere and have a chunk of wax fall out of your ear?
What?
No.
Never.
Dan?
No.
Dan from Pennsylvania, I guess, has had that happen. Thanks for having this discussion right as I was eating my yogurt. Yeah, yogurt, not a good thing to eat during this. Sometimes if I'm sitting there and eating something and maybe it's got oregano in it and the oregano kind of looks snotty, I have to take it out of the plate and hide it.
Really? Oregano doesn't bother me.
No, anything booger-like even. So now bringing it back, that's why I had to get rid of the couch.
Oh, yeah, the couch.
The booger was in there somewhere, couldn't be found. So I couldn't sit, I couldn't recline, I couldn't lay down and not think of that booger.
But if you couldn't find
it tasks me. The booger tasks me.
Maybe the kid never had the booger on his finger. You ever think of that?
What do you mean?
Because you couldn't find it that day.
He wiped it somewhere, and it's somewhere. Boogers don't just disappear, Opie. It was somewhere in that couch.
Couldn't you have it professionally cleaned? I mean,
if you couldn't find the booger, maybe it was in a cushion somewhere.
So you'd never see it.
Might have been able to have it cleaned. It just had this booger stigma to it now that I just couldn't get rid of it.
Does the new couch now have the plastic on it?
Yeah, I haven't gotten the new couch yet. I'm not getting it until next month because it takes forever to get a couch.
Are you still using this couch?
No.
Where is it?
We have no couch in our. I sit on a desk.
Why didn't you just keep the old booger couch until you got the new couch?
Oh no!
Just throw a sheet or something over it to work.
Booger couch hauled away as trash.
Why didn't you put a sheet over it and just use it until that thing came?
And what's a sheet gonna do? What kind of booger protective qualities does a sheet have, Jimmy?
Are
that I don't know about?
Are you
kidding me? Yeah.
What kind of a booger shield does a sheet have?
You didn't drop anthrax in your couch. It's just a yummy snack.
It was all. Oh, God.
And you should have put the couch up on eBay. Someone would have bought the Anthony Booger couch.
I did not want that couch in the house anymore. It had to go.
You know how many other places he touched in your apartment with boogers on his fingers in your house?
Exactly. And we were going around for about 2 days spraying Windex and Formula 405 and everything else on the walls and lights. And because they run around with, like, they eat, and then they have their greasy little hands and they touch everything.
Yep.
I saw my beautiful big screen television, and I've seen big screen TVs at people's houses that have kids. It is just a mess of smeared little kid hands all over the place. And I looked at my TV one day, and the sun was hitting the screen right, and I just saw this little handprint, whack, right on my screen. And I'm like, God damn it.
Threw the TV away?
No, because it wasn't Booger. It was a TV. And TVs aren't known for their absorbing qualities like a couch.
And hopefully you don't lay on it.
And I don't lay on it. I just watch it. So I had it, but I had to, with Windex and get that all cleaned off. And I was just like, God, how do people have these little things running around their house? Like Blair Witch, little handprints on the walls. Turn around. Stand in the corner. I'm going to kill them.
You're a lunatic.
I'm not a lunatic. I'm a child hater.
Something is going on in that head of yours.
Yeah.
No, I need things my way.
The end of your life is going to be spent in the Desert Inn in Vegas and the entire top floor having ice cream made especially for you.
What's wrong with a life like that?
The maids would have to touch things with a certain amount of tissues. They couldn't open a can without 5 or 6 tissues.
Someday, have you been on the road with this guy?
He's a take charge kind of guy.
Anthony's already changing into him on the road.
What?
We see Anthony get his baggage, usually at the airport of the city we're staying in, and then we kind of, if we're lucky, we get to see him for the broadcast. And the rest of the time, he's in his hotel room with the shades down. And
let me ask you, would you do this, and this is not even as gross as it sounds, but like in a public toilet when you lift the lid, would you ever scrape your finger under some of the brown stuff under the toilet lid?
Oh, God!
And just sniff your finger?
Stop it.
You know the crud that builds up on a public toilet, though, right? Or any toilet.
Yes, I'm fully aware of this crud.
You know that kid took one of those boogers and put it right on your pillow.
Stop it!
Well, he did. He was bouncing all over. Anthony. Can't say your name. He's too small.
Anthony.
Little dirty. Probably touched his little pee. Like, because kids pee and they touch their helmets. Probably touched your pillow.
The pillow.
The pillow.
All right, now you're treading on a different area.
Or he scratched his little childish bum.
Oh!
Put his
Stop it!
You know how they scratch
like
their
a
ass?
baby chimp?
Yeah.
They're just always touching and wiping.
Itch it and then touch Uncle Anthony's pillows.
And how old is the kid?
I guess they're like
17.
17.
Well, the kid is wiping his own ass, and a 7-year-old's not doing a good job with that. So you got to think there's like microscopic, fecal matter on his fingers.
I've disinfected the house.
Did you?
Disinfected. And if all else fails, I'll be moving soon anyway.
Did they use your soap?
I'm looking for. I know I just moved in, but I really am looking to move.
Why do you want to move? Is there a booger in the garage somewhere? What's the matter with you?
He wants to move because he realized people were actually in this house. So his new goal is to find a house where it's going to be perfectly safe from
pristine.
I was looking for new construction.
And nobody will ever visit me.
Yeah,
I won't let anyone in this house.
I can't wait for the day that Anthony shows up in a bubble costume.
Rolling through the door, yeah.
I'm slowly but surely noticing you're changing.
Yeah.
A little bit.
No guests.
No guests.
I might actually have like a cabana by the pool where people can stay that has to be bombed every so often by an exterminator or something.
Well, they'll be doing the show. You'll be actually in that room where the interns are, and no one can come in there and talk to you.
No one can come in there.
Reading the news.
I don't think I'm that.
You have to put
crazy.
those big gloves on and reach through the wall to read the
you
newspaper.
can have like when you work with nuclear stuff.
That's how Anthony will be reading the papers before the show.
Yeah, I have to reach into the studio here and grab this and go with my big bulky outbreak gloves.
Well, Anthony, let's see if this would bother you. Let's go to Tom and...
All right, it's Formula 409. Sorry, I was off a couple of numbers on my cleaning
What'd you
fluids.
say, 408?
405, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, the difference is 405 probably does nothing for booger or fecal removal.
That's right.
409 is the special.